60-year-old Bengal Chamber. We are ever young, ever eager, and ever ready to serve. It is our proud privilege to present this evening to you all as we move towards the finale. And I'm delighted to welcome to the dais Dr. Reena Sen and Ms. Jija Ghosh of the Indian Institute of Cerebral Palsy, along with Mr. Kollol Dutta, President of the Bengal Chamber, and Mr. Ambarish Dasgupta, Vice President of the Bengal Chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kollol Dutta, President of the Chamber, is also the Chairman and Managing Director of Andrew Yule and Company Limited, which is celebrating its 150th anniversary and one of the oldest members of this 160-year-old Chamber of Commerce. In fact, Andrew Yule, led by Mr. Dutta, is sponsoring a class to IICP for which the cost is rupees 8 lakhs. The first installment is being presented to IICP today. On the other hand, Mr. Ambarish Dasgupta, who is the Vice President of the Bengal Chamber and Partner and Head Management Consulting of KPMG India, is presenting a check of rupees 1 lakh to IICP. May I now request Mr. Dutta and Mr. Dasgupta to present their letters and checks to Dr. Sen and Ms. Ghosh of IICP.
Dr. Sen, if we can please have you on the dais, there is another little formality which we have to do. On behalf of the Bengal Chamber, we are going to present a small token of appreciation to Dr. Sen for the incredible work she is doing, and Ms. Jija Ghosh. May I request the friends of my Bengal Chamber to please come up on the dais. Can we request the First Lady of the Bengal Chamber, Mrs. Anjan Dutta, and the Chief Patron of Bengal Chamber, Mr. Taranjit Singh, to be on the dais, please. We are handing over a small memento to Dr. Reena Sen. May I request ma'am to present it? Request sir to present a memento to Ms. Jija Ghosh. Set up ready? Set.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have been waiting for long is finally here. The Bengal Chamber feels privileged to welcome the diva of contemporary Indian cinema, a Kolkataite at heart, as much an ambassador for the city as for our nation. And if I may say so, madam, a true blue bong. May I request the one and only Srimati Vidya Balan to the dais, please.
Can we request Dr. Reena Sen to be on the dais once more, please? Actually, we have another small task. Kids, teachers of the IICP, we would request if you can please hold on the kids for a moment, please.
Please take it.
Along with the teacher, can we have the kids back to the stage once more, please? Yes, ma'am. Orno and my other colleagues, I would request to help the IICP teachers once more, please.
Mike, you do.
We have got a small token of appreciation for all these kids, and
But before that, there is an extraordinary man with us today as well. A man with whose music my generation has grown up and grown wiser. An actor, a filmmaker, a thinker, and a man who introduces, reintroduces, and makes us fall in love with Kolkata and life through each of his creations, be it in the realm of music or theatre or films. May I request the iconic and the enigmatic Anjan Dutta to the dais, please. I understand Mr. Dutta will be with us in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I would request Shukarna to please coordinate the ceremony of giving mementos to the lovely children from IICP.
Yes, we have got another special guest with us today, Mrs. Shorbori Dotto, the famous designer who designs the men's wardrobe. He is here with us, she's here with us. We request Shorbori Di to please be on the dais. Shorbori Di, please be here. Anjanda is also here. Sir, can we have you please on the dais? I would now request the friends of my Bengal chamber to please come up slowly, and we are handing over a small memento to all these wonderful kids for their performance, and we would request each of you to please hand it over to them. First, we would request Ms. Vidya Balan to hand over a May I request Mr. Anjan Dutta to hand over one memento. Shorbori Di, can we request you for one? I would like to take an apology. I would request Sasha Ghoshal. Sasha da, please be on the dais. Sashada, we would request you to hand over one memento to one of the performers. Yes, एक और है. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you. You're doing the felicitation to Korean.
আচ্ছা আমি বলে দিচ্ছি সুপর্ণ ফেলিসিটেশনটা আমি বলে দিচ্ছি তুমি অ্যানাউন্স করে দাও আগে অঞ্জন দত্তর গিফট হবে তারপর অঞ্জন দত্তর গিফটটা বিদ্যা বালান গিফট করে নেবে আর প্রেসিডেন্টকে ডেকে নাও স্টেজে প্রেসিডেন্ট আর সিনিয়র ভিপি অ্যাকচুয়ালি প্রেসিডেন্ট ভিপি আর রণজিৎ সিংকে ডেকে নাও
Thank you. I would request my photographer friends to let us allow to proceed with the program. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you. Arnab, if you can please help the kids to take their... Thank you, the teachers of IICP. We would now request the President of Bengal Chamber to please be on the dais, sir.
Mr. Dutta, sir. Mr. Dashgupta, Mr. Ambarish Dashgupta, the Vice President. And Mr. Taranjit Singh, sir, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we won't take much longer of your time, but before we, get down to what we have been waiting for, it's a very pleasant task of us to present a token of our appreciation to Mr. Anjan Dutta. We grew up with your music, as I said, my generation grew up with your music, and Bengal Chamber, in fact, all of us from the Bengal Chamber Secretariat are delighted and feel privileged that you have spent some time to be with us and going to take forward this evening. May I request Shukarna to please.
So if you please request you to hand over to him.
The oldest institution of its kind in India, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce, feels honored to be able to felicitate Srimati Vidya Balan on this very special occasion. In the contemporary world, Srimati Balan has brought to the forefront and reconnected the world on the magic of the eternal Indian tradition, yes, tradition, ladies and gentlemen, the sari. On this occasion, we feel privileged to present her with a very special sari designed by Srimati Shorbori Dutta. May I request Srimati Dutta to present the sari to Srimati Balan.
Shorbori has designed this sari specially for Vidya Balan. She specializes, as we all know, she is world famous for her men's wardrobe. Even Abhishek Bachchan wears his men's wardrobe. Shorbori, we are so thankful. Please present it. Shorbori has also written a small note for Mrs. Balan. There is a small note inside the sari which Ms. Shorbori has written for you. Yeah, it's our traditional Bengali thing, so it's handcrafted.
May I request the Chief Patron of the Bengal Chamber, Mr. Taranjit Singh, to present a replica of the historic and heritage chamber building to Srimati Balan.
Book.
May I now request the Vice President of the Bengal Chamber, Mr. Ambarish Dashgupta, to present a book on Kolkata to ma'am.
I think it's getting too heavy for ma'am. Can I request Arnab or any colleague to please help her?
And finally, we have a special citation for Srimati Balan, for which we would request the President to please do the honors.
Thank you, Shorbori. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I would request you to please take your seats. we are now beginning with the most awaited Adda session, which will be taken over by Anjan Dutta. Anjan Dutta will moderate the entire Adda session. So Anjanda, I am handing the entire dais to you.
But who are there in the institute? And of course, to this beautiful woman here. I was thinking of how to start off this with a song, but this is a song written by a great songwriter, one of my favorites who died. He was driving a plane when he died. But this is a beautiful song. I think it's very suitable for today. Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine over the waters look so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. If I had a tale that I could tell you, I'd tell a tale sure to make you smile. If I had a wish that I could wish for you, I'd wish for you. Sunshine all your life. Rottur ki bishon mishti bhorer belay. Rottur চোখে গেলে কান্না পায়। রোদ্দুর নদীর জলে জল যায় ঝলসে। Sunshine সারা জীবন সবার চাই। Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Sunshine, Sara Jibon, Chawai Chai. My God, this is really such a beautiful start to our Adda. But more importantly, like you said, it feels so true to this evening. You know, I'm so overwhelmed after meeting the kids. And I really want to thank the Bengal Chamber of Commerce for inviting me here so I could witness such magic, the magic of life, of breath, of love, of belief. And I don't have words to express how I feel. And then, you know, I keep saying, Ami mon theke Bangali. So someone asked me, what do you know about the pop culture of Bengal? Now I'll go back and say, I just heard Anjan Dutta singing live. What more do you want me to know? Thank you, Anjanda.
Thank you. I would just, to kick it off, since you're there, with this issue, I personally feel, Vidya, that, this Indian democracy is actually working because of certain honest professionals. I personally feel that the country is working in spite of so much of crisis, is because there are certain honest professionals doing their jobs. Of course, there's political leadership, but we all know that political leadership is in a flux and does not have, the focus is not social issues. The focus is not what we are talking about, not these children. The focus is much different. So it's the individual, the professional, which is making a difference, the individual doctor, the individual teacher, the lawyer, the military man, the policeman, and the actor, the filmmaker. It's the individuals who are making a difference to society. And you are a very, very important individual professional in this country. And do you see yourself, apart from being, do you see yourself using your stardom to a certain cause, which you did today, perhaps you've done earlier? Do you see yourself as a certain kind of activist, not necessarily political?
I don't think I see myself as an activist at all. Of course, there's desire to do far more, but I think most of us end up being armchair activists saying, this should be done and that should be done. Yes, I've had opportunities to leverage the love I share from people, amongst people. I've tried to leverage it to draw attention to certain causes over time, but I will say that, I'm first an actor, and I focus on that so that there is more for me to leverage. I think, and having said that, I also think that I'm really a humanist. I think even in my one-on-one interactions with people, if I'm just being true to that moment,
you are making a difference.
Yeah, I'm making a difference. Firstly, to myself, and just being true. I think we're all, sorry, I don't mean this as a generalization, but I think these days we're all doing things because we're being watched. Not just as actors, not just as musicians, celebrities. I think everyone is constantly being watched and is feeling judged. So if I'm able to be true to a moment, irrespective of whether a camera
whether you're being watched or not.
Yeah, whether I'm being watched or not, I feel that makes a difference to who I am. And like you said, because today's society is flourishing because of individuals, if I'm making a difference to that individual, hopefully there'll be a ripple effect. Yeah.
So you're saying that your work itself stands for what you're doing, the work that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the most important
Like
thing.
my work is really an extension of my beliefs. I don't know whether I veer towards certain kinds of roles or whether they veer towards me. But earlier today someone was asking me, so why is it that you only play strong women roles? I said, because I believe that strength and women are synonymous with each other. How can I not? So that's something that comes naturally to me.
I'll come to that. But I'll just ask you one thing which I was trying to ask you there also is that, do you remember the first time we met?
Yes, I do. At Nandon, at the film festival.
Wow.
Yes, I think I just shot for Bhalo Theko.
Yeah.
The film hadn't released.
Yeah.
And I'd been
outside Nandon,
Vidya Balan,
2004.
2000.
And 2004?
Three.
And do you remember what you were wearing?
No.
I do. I think I do. I asked my son today, and he remembered that you were wearing an orange shirt and a white trouser or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was a little boy then.
My
anyway,
God.
But
I'm flattered to know that.
Yeah, maybe he's wrong. Maybe he's wrong. We'll get to Bhalo Theko, but tell me, when you were in school in Mumbai, right?
Yeah,
And did you always think of being an actress?
always. Thank
You
God
always.
it worked out for me.
That is what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Why?
Let's say, you know, I just like being in other people's shoes. So either I would have ended up robbing people's shoes outside temples or doing a more glorious thing like
Yeah.
acting. No, I'm just kidding. I just think um, I tend to empathize a lot with people. So I always wonder what a certain person in a certain situation might do. I like to say that, you know, it's probably the multiple personality order is what the actor is all about. And I think that's what attracted me most about living your life and yet living those lives that you would have probably fantasized about by being an actor.
Anybody inspired you? Did you have an inspiration? Did you have somebody in mind at that time? You watched somebody's film?
I think Shabana Azmi to begin with.
Okay, Shabana.
Actually, Madhuri Dixit in Ek Do Teen, I think she fascinated every girl in the country, men differently, but every girl wanted to be Madhuri Dixit, and I would watch Ek Do Teen perform it in front of the mirror and say, oh my God, I want to be junior Madhuri Dixit. But then, through my school years, you know, I would also watch films on Doordarshan, those Sunday afternoon films, Saturday evening films. So you watched both Hindi and regional cinema. And I remember being extremely awestruck by Shabana Azmi's performance in Arth. I couldn't get over it. I still can't. That's probably been one of the strongest inspirations for me as an actor.
I'll try and quickly run you through your past. Those who are not aware, I'm not very familiar also, but I know that you started off somewhere in with some Malayalam film,
Yes.
Tamil films, which probably didn't do well, got jinxed. And
No,
so-
they just didn't take off. So
Okay.
they, at that time,
What was your
Malayalam-
experience that time?
The Malayalam industry was going through a slump, really. So a financial crisis. A lot of films were getting stalled, and mine was one of them. But I was doing a film with Mohanlal and this director Kamal, and they had done 8 films together so far. They had had 8 successful hits, and then the 9th film had me, and they had a problem between each other. So they wanted, you know, how we tend to blame an external force. So the media started writing that the only extraneous factor to the equation was me, and therefore I probably jinxed the film, and that was where it all began, you know. And then I think our fears become self-fulfilling prophecies, are self-fulfilling prophecies. So a lot of films that I was doing at that time, I either got thrown out of even before I shot for them, because this word began to spread, you know, that I was jinxed. So people would,
Unbelievable.
yeah, they would replace me, and then I wouldn't even know of it. I would read about it in some magazine or hear about it from someone else. Then I went on to do a Tamil film. They threw me out of that film because